Live. Starting off the show, wishing my mom happy birthday. See you soon at dinner. I know you're gonna tune in probably tomorrow to watch this. So, yeah. See you later.
Happy birthday, Mom!
Happy birthday.
Yeah, shout out to Mama Water. Happy birthday to you. What is going on? All right, look, before we get started with the show, right? We are going to. We got destroyed last week. Right now, we at the Waffle House. We doing our episode from the Waffle House, 2:00 in the morning. So, Ken, what do you want? What would you like to eat, Ken?
Can we just skip to the end of the season? Wow. I was up most of the night after that game. I'm still choked up, as you can see. I do want to. We're going to have our overreactions later on, I assume.
Yeah.
And so I want to get one out of the way, though, because I mentioned it on social media last Friday. So I know some people are going to be looking for this. About almost immediately, right after the game was over, people went into spaces. I bounced around between three of them. In all three of those spaces, there were people who mentioned that at the game, there were three players that went up to family or friends or whatever, were laughing and smiling and all that. And I saw a couple of people post it on social media as well. So it grew a little bit. So I mentioned something about it. And I was happy to see that a lot of people came up and said, the game's over. They're with family. They're with friends. Let them laugh a little bit. They're not happy about what happened, and we know that. So I think for those who overreacted a bit, I sort of understand where you're coming from, but don't make it personal with the players. We did that a bit the week before. We talked about that with Emmanuel Forbes. We need to just respect these players, and we know that they're not happy with their play, especially this previous game. So let's keep things in check. And yes, it's okay to be mad about the outcome of that game, because if we're mad, they're pretty upset as well.
Having said that, what would you like to eat from what's your favorite meal at Waffle House, Souf?
All-Star Special, baby. All-Star Special, baby.
Like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I haven't even
It's eggs.
been to a Waffle
So you
House.
get eggs. You get eggs with toast, hash browns. You get waffle, and then you get your choice of the meat selection. Pause. Bacon. You get sausage, or you get smoked ham. So that's what I want. All-Star Special, baby. Hits the spot every time.
All-Star Special. I'll second that. I'm not going to add to that.
I've never been there, so we'll see. I don't think I'm going to.
I'm going to shine a light on that.
You don't,
All-Star Special all the way.
Hopefully you don't need a Deuce, because if
on the other side of this.
Redzone In the Lab podcast.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's Benjamin St. Jude's, DB for the Washington Commanders. I want to give a big shout out to Redzone In the Lab podcast.
Welcome back to Redzone In the Lab podcast. I am Deuce, and we got Souf. We have Ken in the building. How are you guys doing? Ken, how are you?
What was that? I didn't hear that.
How you holding up today, Ken?
Oh, there we go. Something wrong with my earphones today. Anyway, I'm doing okay. Looks like about another day we're going to have big time fall weather here, and it's going to stay. That makes me happy because fall weather and football is the best time of the year. How you doing, Sal?
Doing good, you know. Weather's been kind of fallish here, but it's a little warm for my liking today, but you know, hopefully it sticks around because Georgia's bipolar, so sometimes cold, sometimes hot. Can't get it together.
Oh man, let's get into these comments. We appreciate everyone for stopping through. We got Chase Radar in the building. And we have some graphics from Radar that we're gonna we talk about Ron Rivera a little bit later. We got this crazy graphic that Chase did. What's up, Chuck? Chuck is going to be joining us in a few minutes during that segment, so can't wait for that. Overreaction. So Ken, you kind of started off with your overreaction from the team and just talking about players like being humans. For the most part, right? Like that's what it's pretty much about, is them being humans. And you know, once you've done with your job, you want to be able to go home and you know have family time and not think about your job. You know, laugh, smile. You don't want to take your job home with you. Mm-hmm. So I think to the fans, that's kind of saying that they saw that, and even if they did, whatever. Like it really, if you did or you didn't. If they did or they didn't, like, what's really wrong with that stuff? Like, what's really wrong with going to your family? You know, even if after like a blowout loss, like for comfort for the most part.
Yeah, I agree with that. Another overreaction, I think, and I'm guilty of it as anyone, is that it seems not only from fans, but local media, national media, they're basically saying the season is over, and it's not. There's 12 games remaining. And you know what? If Washington goes down to Atlanta and wins, which I think is going to be a tall task, but let's say they do. Let's say they start getting on a little bit of a roll. They're right back in the thick of things. And they're still in a playoff hunt early on, but the season is far from over. And I think, like I said, I'm guilty of it too. There's a lot of things to be very concerned about. I'm sure we'll talk about them today, but that's the overreaction I see at this point.
So what about you, Souf, when it comes to the players being human?
I mean, they are. We're at home watching these guys, right? So, and we think we put these guys on pedestals, even though one of some of our favorite phrases from the spaces at the end of the day, right. They're regular people, except they just do a job that we just get to watch on TV. And they're highly paid for it. So they are human. We put them on pedestals. We buy their jerseys. We do this and that. But at the end of the game, they go home just like all of us go home after work. And no one's criticizing us if you messed up. You sent a bad email. You yelled at a client that you weren't supposed to yell at. You did something wrong at work. Nobody's ridiculing you when you're at home for that. So I mean, everyone's human. We just need to do a little bit better. Stay out of these guys' DMs. Stay out of adding them on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, all this stuff. Like they don't need to see that, man. Like they know they messed up. Like everybody saw it on TV. They get to watch the film the next day.
Mhm.
They know they messed up. So we don't have to. We can be upset, sure, because we watch them and we want them to win and we support them. But like when they don't show up, we get upset, and rightfully so. But we don't need to be dragging them on social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, you just got to be very careful. You know, these people are human, too, and they're in front of thousands of people, sometimes millions of people, depending on when they play. And a lot of people is watching them. A lot of people is seeing them mess up. You know what we don't see. You know, what I'm saying we're at work. We don't have thousands and millions of people watching me as they do. So all those things you need to kind of take into consideration when you start questioning people's uh, humanality. Is that a word? Humanality? Is that a word?
I
Hey,
don't think so.
Smoke, is
Sounds
that a
good to
word?
me. Run with
Somebody
it.
look that up. Somebody look that up. Is humanality a word?
Humanality.
Oh man, what's
I
up,
don't think so.
URE? Smoke, and just some little news.
It's humanity, dudes. It's humanity.
Humanity. Okay, there you go. Humanality sounds better. I love humanality. That sounds much better. URE Smoke. In the coming weeks on Thursday, we're going to be doing like this fast lane, quick 15-20 minute live on Thursday. So we kind of work on that on the background. So please stay tuned for that. What's up, Kim? Appreciate you jumping through. C Hot is in the building. Cash, what it do? Chuck. We'll get Chuck in here in a couple minutes. Seahawks says, look, Rivera and Del Rio are going to be gone, so brighter days are coming. We're definitely going to talk about them too. Fans who go into players' DMs and beyond suckers. not humanity. Humanity, what I say? I don't even remember what I said.
Humanality.
Humanality. Like I knew humanity was a word, but I think humanality sounds better. I love that. Humanality. So those are some definite overreactions, but let's talk about the actual play on the field. Ken, when it comes to the Thursday night game, how much of an excuse of a short week are you giving an NFL team?
None. Zero. These are professionals. It's not like they're doing it the day after on Monday. There's several days there. And both teams are on a short week. So both of them got a deal. They got to deal with it. Chicago's the one that had to travel to Washington.
That's true.
So if anybody had an advantage in that game, it'd be Washington. They're playing on their home field. They're playing on their own turf. The game was a sellout for Washington. It was overwhelmingly Washington fans, burgundy and gold, and of course a lot of black because it was the blackout game. And it was all there for them to just take it and go in and leave the game with 3-2 record, go into Atlanta with a lot of optimism. But we see what happened, and now everyone is reeling and thinking that the season's over. But it's not. But it's sure they just let a golden opportunity go by. Chicago comes in 0-4, but I did say last week toward the end of our podcast that the most dangerous teams can be teams that haven't won a game yet once you're well into the season. And Chicago certainly proved that omen to be true.
What about you, Souf?
Yeah, no excuses. I mean, Ken said everything. Like Chicago came in on a short week too, and they got mollywopped the week before. Mm-hmm. So So what are we thinking? Like, oh, we almost beat the Eagles, but so Chicago's gonna come into our stadium and lay down? No, obviously not, because they molly whooped us on Thursday.
That's true.
So I don't know. The only thing I will say about the Thursday game, and it's not giving these guys an out. Those Thursday night games are always a little wonky. You can't ever really
Yeah.
judge those Thursday night games with. I do think if we played them on Sunday, it would have been a different outcome. It wouldn't have been 40-20. I don't think so, but at least I'd like to think so. But those Thursday night games, I don't know. They're either like 6-9 or they're 40-20. There's really no in between scores, and like usually not. It's usually one team's either running away with the game or it's just super close and nobody can score.
Yeah, I'm with you all, man. Like what Cash was saying, it's no excuses, none at all. What's up, Cito? Seahart, the old guard, needs to know 80s and 90s players that could now need to retire. The old system is history. The game has passed them. Yeah, we still talk about the Bears. We're about to move on very, very soon. New ideas and ways of coaching is needed in this new NFL. Cash says need to be better Sunday on both sides of, especially the only scoring 3 points at half isn't a recipe. And you know what else? Like special teams too. Special teams is horrible. Special teams is horrible right now. I think we're like one of the worst in the league on special teams too. They also need to get that and under control. And our all-pro special teamer is out for the year. So not only do they look at Quan Martin helping out for the default injury, they also looking towards him to help out on special teams also. And then Christian Holmes is also dealing with the hamstring issue. So that's another hit to special teams. So that's going to definitely be something for us to watch this upcoming week. Kim says, I don't expect anything great week to week. I just hope they do. No expectations. Yeah, we're done. What he said. Yeah, we're done with the Bears. We're moving on. It's funny this year's best special team because last year we were one of the best, including having an all-pro. Yep. So we're looking bad on special teams, all three phases of the game. At some point has to get better. But this is what we want to talk about. We're going to talk about Ron Rivera, and we're going to talk about this coaching staff. Yes, we're going to talk about this coaching staff. Where are we with Ron Rivera? He had a press conference yesterday. He said some things that didn't make too much sense. And he also had another press conference today where he said some things that didn't make too much sense. So before we go to commercial, I want to ask you, Ken, how do you feel about an in-season head coaching change? Just in general, not with us, just in general. Are you in favor of making a move with the head coach in season?
You know, back in 2001, Washington was in the thick of a playoff race. They just had a bad game. They lost to someone that they shouldn't have. And they fell to 7 wins, 6 losses, 3 games to go in the season. Dan Snyder up and fires Norv Turner right then and there, 3 games to go. And they're still in a playoff hunt. And that was just a horrible mistake. We saw what happened the rest of the season with Terry Robisky as the interim coach. It was not good. You have to let this coaching staff finish out the season. First of all, the players are very devoted to this head coach. We see it time and time again. And what you're going to do is upset that dynamic. And yes, likely you promote Eric Bieniemy to at least acting head coach, interim head coach, or whatever, or just maybe you decide to give him the reins. But it's still going to have effect on that locker room. It'll probably take several games to adapt to that. And right now they're 2-3. So let's assume they lose to Atlanta, and let's assume they lose just as bad as they lost to Chicago. Do we make a change? I don't think you do even then. Yes, you're 2-4. You still have 11 games to go. You don't know what's going to happen. But one thing is certain. I think that will put us one step closer at the end of the season to seeing this regime go, and that could include Eric Bieniemy. So part of me says I would be okay with a change during the season, maybe during the bye week, if it means keeping Eric Bieniemy, because I think he's the reason why Sam Howell is looking as good as he is. And I believe he's going to be a very good quarterback in this league. But there's another part of me that says it's just going to mess up a dynamic that is going to just affect the team the rest of the season. So, honestly, I'm not giving you an answer here. I'm sorry for that, but I'm 50-50 on it.
Yeah, so like for me, Souf, it kind of depends the position that the team is in that's making that head coaching change. What type of roster do they have? Do they have a young roster? Do they have an older roster? Is it like a new GM that's coming in and wants to see how things are? Is the team spiraling out? Is the coach losing the locker room? Like all those things come into effect when it comes to making those decisions in season. Like for me, it just kind of depends on the situation. And we're definitely going to get into our situation if we should do it or not, because we know what our situation is. But for you in general, like, what's your mindset on making those moves in season?
I don't think ideally you get rid of your head coach, because I think that would send too big of a ripple down everywhere else. And also, as much crap as we talk about Ron, like the fan base, I think that locker room loves Ron Rivera. So I think if they were to get rid of Ron, I think there would be a big problem. There'll probably be a divide in the locker room. Like, we love Ron. Why, he's gone. Now we got to go, under somebody else. But I'm not opposed to getting rid of a coordinator mid-season. So if Del Rio can't, get whatever together, if we're still giving up 35 points a game, something's got to happen. I mean, there's nothing, there's really nothing to, like, what are you going to do? Just keep giving up 35 points a game and telling Sam Howell, hey, we got to score 45 a game to win? And throwing the ball 50 times? No, we can't do that, especially with our O-line and stuff like that. As far as the head coach, I don't know if you can. Now, if we were 0-5 and getting like beat like crazy 50-0, yeah, okay, get rid of Ron, get rid of whoever you need to. But we're 2-3, like Ken said, like Ron said. Even we got 12 games left. So I think they'll right the ship at some point. It's just it needs to come sooner rather than later, because at some point there has to be a change made if they keep going on this path.
Cool. After this, we're going to bring Chuck up and we're going to talk some more about Ron Rivera. So it's crazy because I got to adjust. I'm going to adjust this picture that Chase did, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen. But Chuck, turn your camera sideways. All right, so let's go to the comments before we lose track. Trail said week 6 is a must-win game. It is a must-win game. It can mean so much for our franchise if we lose this game. It's true. It's a must-win. I still think we are able to bounce back versus Atlanta Giants. We are in play for a wild card. You cannot lose NFC teams if you want to make the playoffs, especially to teams you should beat in year 4. We already lost the one in the NFC. That's true. I disagree with Souf. I don't think they care that much about run. They think team cares more about winning. And under Rivera, they haven't done it. If the players love Ron and they want to win and they want him to stay and keep his job, they need to play like it. Then the Bears saved their coach's job Thursday. The answer to that is no. Like, they did not save his job. Maybe they held it for a week or so, but I think he's definitely going to be gone before season's end. I understand we not on 5, but middle of the pack almost feels worse than being on 5. Being on 5, you have an opportunity to look at some of the top picks in the draft versus picking 13 to 20. It kind of depends what you're looking for in the draft. What type of players you want, where your team is, where you're building. But for the most part, teams that doesn't have a quarterback, they definitely want to be in the top 10. So they don't have to use as many assets to move up. But they're gonna be like 4 to 6 quarterbacks that could be day one starters next year. So the necessity to move up to top 5 may not be as a need this year when it comes to quarterbacks. Ideally, we would like a president of football ops to be hired and let her decide how to move the season. Otherwise, keep Ron at least until mathematically eliminated to keep locker room together.
Louder for
First
the
of
people
all,
in the back, CeeLo. Louder for the people in the back, CeeLo. Louder, louder. Chuck, I see you sipping that water. First things first, baby.
What's good, Chuck? Welcome to the
Good,
lab,
good.
brother.
Y'all see,
How
I
you
got
feeling,
my,
man? I see you in the
got my grip
ATC
on,
hat.
you know. I
Shout
got the
out,
shirt
man.
on too. I'm
Hey,
geared up. For sure.
what's good, man? How you feeling? How you feeling about the team, man? I know you had to take a little break from Spaces.
Man, I took a break from Thursday night all the way to. I snuck in one Sunday afternoon, but really till Monday, man. I'm still iffy about Spaces right now, but I'm back in a little bit of effect, man. But about the team, man, it's just I can't lie. I'm frustrated, man, because it's not adding up. You know, everything that they saying in these press conferences, everything we saw throughout the offseason is just not adding up, and I'm frustrated. So I feel like we could be better than where we are now. I feel like we're going to get better. I just hope it doesn't take 3 more games for us to get where we're supposed to be in like week 4 and week 3. You know.
Yeah, it's another slow start, and we all said we cannot have slow starts, and here we go with another slow start. So I mean, are you confident at all? Let's start with the defense, and we can go around the room. Start with you. Are you confident at all? And if you are, like, what's driving that confidence that the defense can get better?
I'm confident in the defense. After losing Defoe, my confidence went down a little bit because he's a sure tackler. Like, he's a hard hitter. You know, he's gonna make sure that person gets down. But I was disappointed this year because his coverage has been off. Like, I don't know what's going on with our safeties, but they're nowhere to be found. If I was a Manual Forbes, I'd be frustrated too because I'm playing the guy, and I ain't gonna harp on this because I can go all day, but I'm playing the guy a certain way, and this is how I play corner because I'm expecting my safety to be back there. So I'm going to bite a little bit more. You know, I'm a gamble a little bit more because I got that safety help in the back, you know. And then our front 4 is just like, I don't think they listen to Del Rio, man. Like, if we actually like break it down and we like put it all on the table, they don't listen to Del Rio. They They do what they want to do. They just try to make it work, and we see that in the games, you know. So my confidence in defense has gone down. I just want to see more turnovers, man, because all of our turnovers are like inches away, you know. Like Cam with
Yeah.
on Goddard a couple weeks ago, he was fingertips away from hitting the ball. Kendall Fuller, even in the Bears game, he was an inch away, a hand away from grabbing a pick, you know. And Forbes, he's dropped where he's missed a couple that were like right there in his face, you know. So we're just like a almost defense, you know, and we don't have the time in this division to be an almost defense.
What about you, Ken? Are you confident that the defense can bounce back?
Honestly, don't know. I think if you would have asked me a week earlier before the Chicago game, I would have said sure, because Philadelphia is a tough team. And the week before that, you went up against Russell Wilson, one of the best quarterbacks that's of the last decade. And I think I would discount that Cardinals game to a certain degree because that was the first game, even though the defense really stepped it up in the second half of that game. But the Chicago game kind of put some doubts into my head about this. And it's like Chuck said, there's too much freelancing going on, too many people doing their own thing and not sticking to the plan. Now, is that on the coaches? Is that on the players? Is it on both? So I have question marks too. But this team is going to go up against Desmond Ridder. He's struggling, but he does have an ace in the hole in Bijan Robinson. And that guy is elusive. And he may have this team looking very silly, come Sunday, because he's been doing that all season. And we know that this defense has given up more than 30 points a game these last 3 games. And the last game, 40 points. So what is it going to be? So I have my concerns, but I'm an optimist, so I'm hopeful. Well, that's all I am, is just hopeful.
What about you, Souf?
What was the question? If I
Do
feel
you think you can? Yeah, like, do you feel like? Are you confident that the defense can?
no. Why? Why would I be confident? There's nothing we have seen to make me confident in anything that we've been doing on defense. Nothing. There's D linemen sleepwalking out there. Linebackers don't even. I mean, they might as not even be playing. Secondary giving up big play after big play. I mean, what else? Well, I mean that 3 phases, 3 levels of the game, 3 levels on defense. Crap. We've been playing like Pookie Dookie. Like there's no one thing that we can hang a hat on. Like, oh, this guy is holding up his end of the bargain, or this group is holding up the end of the bargain. They're all getting burnt. Secondary is getting burnt. Kendall Fuller got burnt for 3. Forbes got benched. St. Jude's got burnt. Safeties aren't where they're supposed to be. Linebackers aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Pass rush not getting home. So, no, I have no faith.
I tell you one thing that.
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
One thing that was brought up in Doug McRae's podcast on Monday with Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor said something that kind of epitomizes the defense these last few games, and that is he said that Cody Barton is not a linebacker. Now, he said it in jest, but he said Cody Barton is not a linebacker. And I think Cody Barton right now is the poster boy for this defense and just how inadequate they are at this time. One play that stood out to me in that Chicago game with Barton is when he tried to take on the backup running back for Chicago, who really is their fullback, and Barton just grabbed him as the that running back was about 5 yards downfield already, and that running back basically drug Cody Barton 11 yards downfield before there were more commanders that were in on the tackle. Barton couldn't bring him down. So why is Barton even out there? No, he's not a linebacker. I don't know what he is. And I tried to defend him early on in the season, say give him a chance. I think he's out of chances. So where's Jabril Cox? Where's Khalid Hudson? I would really like to see him out there. I just think those two guys could do better than what Barton is doing.
So, like, before we go too far, like for me, like what Chuck was saying, I think we dropped like 8 clean interceptions. The punishment we took from the Bears, we haven't taken punishment like that all year, right? I don't think that's who our defense is. Like, I don't think that's who our defense is. I think those who are a few players on that defense is, like you mentioned, Cody Barton. You mentioned, like we talk about Forbes, needing to kind of get a bounce back game. We may be going some things mentally, whatever it is that we hear out there. But I don't think that's exactly who we are. I think that was what they were that night. But as a whole, I don't think that's who we are, because we haven't consistently been like that. So I don't think so. That's why I think that we can bounce back. I think we can play better football. Not saying that we're going to be this top 4, creating turnovers and all those type of things, but I don't think we're as bad as we were Thursday night. Kim said, do you think EB played vanilla in the beginning? No, like there's nothing vanilla about EB, Kim. Nothing at all. Like he's gonna come out there, throwing. He's gonna come out there throwing for sure.
55 pass plays in a row.
If Slab made that field, I believe we would have found a way to win last week as bad as the team. Yeah. Like the defense came out and they played the second half. What they scored 3 points up until the missed field goal. Whatever.
You know what the issue was with the field goal, right? Antonio Gibson dropped that pass, and it would have gotten him probably like 5, 6, 7 yards closer to the.
I don't want to hear that though, because he can make all the big kicks. Why can't you make a 46-yard field goal?
Yeah, but I'm saying though, but what I'm saying is, you need to catch that pass. He was wide open.
No, for sure. I get that, but
two things can be right.
Earlier in the game, he made what, a 51 yard.
51. Yeah. It's like from 40 to 50, he's I don't know, man. But 50 to 55, he be butter. But 40 to 50, I don't know.
I'm out on Joey Slide, man.
I wholeheartedly believe Barton is holding defense back with his play and defensive calls. Well, it's not his calls. It's Del Rio's calls. I don't think he's out there changing plays or nothing like that. Yeah, Bijan's going to be a problem for sure. Bijan's very talented. I'm still taking number 8 all day. Every day if we compete in games, we will really see how talented this kid is. Can't see them stopping Bijan. Cody Barton. What's up, Justin? Appreciate you stopping by. Cody, I see you. Appreciate you, man. What you think about the Harris signing? Perhaps a chance for him over Barton.
No.
Who?
No.
Oh, Dijon.
Scooter Harris.
Yeah, he was undrafted last year.
With he's a special teams guy.
Yeah, but they signed him to like a lot of people, like we talk about Jabril Cox, but like he's still in the practice squad, and they signing people off the street to the active roster. So, it's something there too. So that's something to kind of think about.
But is Cody Barton better than a practice squad player at this point? I mean, it's a legit question.
I mean, there's only one way to find out. You can see, but at the same time, like they say, the grass is not always greener on the other side. It might come in and be worse. You might just have 2 worse players.
Also, Jabril Cox is on the practice squad, right? So any other team could poach him. Why haven't they if he's like so good?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
so
he was a free agent for a while, right? It ain't like he was released right out the training camp and all these people was trying to get him. So Cody Barber's Kyle Pig and beyond. Well, I don't think does Cody Barber don't he don't check tight ends. That's gonna be Curl.
I don't think he deals with anybody.
Hopefully Del Rio game plans it around. Like we might see a lot of one linebacker sets this week.
please. We don't. I don't honestly. I'll be fine with
I
seeing no
would.
linebackers.
We should.
I don't want to see no linebackers out there. None. Because they're not playing anyway.
Yeah. Is our only legit middle linebacker was let us see. But like we think about that, see, like what's a middle linebacker, right? Green dot, anybody can wear green dot. I don't know, putting people in place, that's not working. So I don't know. I don't know. If that's their reason for keeping them out there, it's another reason for them to get fired. When you nearsighted, you need glasses, slides near footed. Not sure how you fix that. That's funny. What's up, Dog Tide? I see you in the building. Hers has the 2. I don't see Barton asking the D-line to shift, or I don't see any of that either. I mean, in the Denver game, he was putting Jamin in different spots a ton, which I haven't noticed that since then. Stands flat-footed, waiting for play to develop versus. Yeah, he's bad. Like we know, missing linebacker. He's an MLB man.
That's it.
God. Right after they made the trade.
That's right.
Trade, he has been protected. That's why he's not. How you know he's been protected, Deron? Did they put that out? Because I haven't seen that. I haven't seen. I know you can protect up to 3 players, but where have you seen that he's been protected?
Yeah, I didn't know that. He might be.
What's up, Unc? Men are usually a bit heavier and can take on those 3. He can't even take on 240-pound players. So, like,
he's
weak
sauce,
bro. He can't even take on the Jets team.
He got dragged down the field, man.
Man. We tired.
Hey, yo,
he
dude,
can't even take on the Jets team.
We have a donut for the defense. South Cody Button don't drink his water.
That might be it. Hey.
We might have found a solution. He's not drinking his water. Oh
man,
my gosh.
that might be it. Give him some water, some high quality H2O.
Oh man. All right. So look, when we talk about like this defense being better, we're gonna come back to you, Chuck, and we talk about the defensive line and all first round picks and expectations for them. At what point do you believe like the first round expectations should be removed from players, or should they?
I think nowadays it's never, well, from the fans, it's never going to be removed because people are always going to go back to, oh, he was number 1 pick, he was selected with this. So, and I think I heard somebody say this the other day, like players don't have room to grow anymore. It's either you get on the field, produce, or you're a bust. And we're seeing that with Chase Young. He got hurt, and now people are saying, oh, he's just not good enough anymore. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. And with Forbes, we're seeing that now where, oh, he's a bust because he got burnt a couple of times. They're not giving the players any room to grow. And that's just how it is nowadays with the media, sort of with the teams too, because we were seeing players get cut for not producing. So I think it's just harder to get over that stigma of being a first round draft pick or a high draft pick.
Where you at with it, Souf?
Realistically, I think 2 years after you get drafted is when the first round pick designation should kind of wear off. But Chuck said it never. I don't know if it ever come off for a lot of people. We still hearing about Jadeveon Clowney's first round pick, first pick status, and he's been a journeyman defensive end his whole career. So I don't know if it ever comes off. I think realistically for those level-headed minded people, it's about 2 years into the process. But for a lot of fans. I don't know if it ever does.
Ken, like you're about to dig into these prospects for the upcoming draft. I know you told me before October into November, you really start, diving in. When I mean diving, I'm not mean like we hear people talk about that. I'm talking about Ken is at it all day on Saturday, all day on Sunday, 5 to 6, 7, 8 hours during the week. You really get into these prospects that's kind of is like fitting our team. But for you being like that draft and that prospect guy that's you know like developing these files on these college players, when do you think an actual draft grade or draft position should be removed from a player and you replace it with actual production on the field?
It depends on the round. If you're looking at a late rounder, you're just looking for someone to be a special teams player. If they're anything more, that's a bonus. Middle round, yeah, you're probably looking for someone to be a role player, at least by their second season. If it happens the first season, great. But let's jump all the way to first round. It depends on where you are in the first round. If you're a top 10 pick, you need to be starting day one, and you need to be an impact player, period. No questions about that. If you're top 20, say pick 11 to 20, you need to be someone who will be there at least halfway through the season. That's why we probably need to give Emmanuel Forbes a little more time. But you need to be a starter in your first year, and at least halfway or 3/4 in the season, you need to be an impact player. If you're later first round, okay, you need to be a starter maybe toward the end of the season, but at least be a player that's on the field from day one and being in the rotation and having a good impact. Anything else for rounds 2, 3, those are second day players. They need to have a good impact too, but a starter in their first year, I tend to go either way depending on position. If it's a running back and you're chosen second or third round, you better be a starter from day one, period. And better be an impact player. If you are, say, a cornerback chosen second, third round, you're probably not going to start until your second or third year. So, it just depends. And I'm going to put in a shameless plug. Within the next day or two, I'm going to have a mock draft, all 7 rounds at Hogs Haven. So I think we're going to start to have an idea, at least from my perspective, of what we'll focus on. And we need to focus in the early rounds on the offensive line, period. So they need to be players that are going to come in and start right away. Those first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Quan Martin, to me, was a luxury pick. I don't know why that happened. There were some good offensive tackles still on the board, and that's where they needed to go. I have no issue with what happened in the first round because all the good tackles that were considered first rounders went before Washington's pick. So cornerback did make sense at that point. I did want Christian Gonzalez, but I knew the team was focused on Forbes, and that's why I mocked him that week to Washington, and that's how it worked out.
So like Chuck, we know the whole Ron Rivera thing about like these draft picks, and it's very like you shouldn't draft the whole draft based on 5 games, right? Usually they say 3 years is a good time to look back and kind of judge the draft. But as Ken told us, day 1, day 2, you should see them on the field. They should be doing something. They should have snaps. They should be contributors. At least they should be contributors from all of our picks. Like, how are you with like the coaches' development of these players? Do you think it's the coaches, or you think the players are just not talented enough to be on the field?
I think it's 50-50. It's going hand in hand. Like, we can see it with the DBs, right? Last year, our DBs, in my opinion, were a little better, like on playing the ball and stuff like that. But that we had a different DB coach. I don't even know who our DB coach is this year. I'm not gonna lie. I saw a picture of him in the on Twitter, but I don't even know who he is. But it's hand in hand because, like, with Quan, like, he's just not, something isn't clicking for him. And we saw it in preseason. I don't know if he's gotten better in practice. Maybe we find out Sunday. But, like, for me right now, I don't want to see a lot of Quan on Sunday because of what we saw in the preseason. Like, he had that one interception, but it was sort of fluke. Like, it bounced off the guy's back or whatever. He just hasn't played well. He was whipping tackles. He didn't know where to be at on the field, and then it just wasn't looking good for him. And then with Forbes, it's just like somebody has to teach him when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive, and how to, like, be disciplined. And somebody's obviously not teaching him that within these first 4 or 5 games. So it's 50-50 for me.
I mean, Souf, do you play the players because they were drafted early, or you just put the best people on the field?
You got to put the best people out there. Draft status means something to some people sometimes. It shouldn't. But you got to put the best people out there who could do their job. Like, they put that sign up there, do your job. But you can, yeah, sure. It gives you a little bit of, like, leeway because you draft somebody at a certain position. So they get a little bit more, slack to I guess, mess up a little bit more, as opposed to somebody who wasn't drafted as high. And, you kind of feel like they're more disposable if you don't draft them as high. So, yeah, I get it. I get that argument. Like, oh, we drafted this dude, 1, 2 in first round, second round. But, like, at the end of the day, you gotta play the best people that you have on the team. Like, you got to put your 11 most talented people on the field at all times.
What's up, Unc? Appreciate you for joining us. Yeah, the coaches, the players, it kind of, like, for me, right? It sometimes players are just, like, talented, right? Sometimes they don't need a ton of coaching up. Sometimes when they get out there on that field, they're always in the right place. They always making the right reads, the right decisions, tackling clean, and all those different types of things. And then you have coaches. Like, I think coaches should be able to make players better than what they are, regardless of how talented they are. Like, if a player is bad, a coach should be able to make them good. If a player is great, a coach should be able to make them elite, right? That's just where I believe, like, where the coaches come in at. But for me, when it comes to Quan and Forbes and all those guys that's not playing, leave them off the field. Like, if they're not better than the person in front of them, leave them on the field. But, Chuck, can we really trust that this coaching staff is putting the best people on the field, or are they putting just the vet guys on the field, or are they putting the guys that's making the most money on the field?
So I had a conversation with my older sister about this the other day, right? When we dealing with, like, and this not to take a shot at, like, older people, but, like, sometimes when people are so used to stuff working for them, they start to do that no matter what. And I think that's what we're seeing with Cody Barton, right? We're just seeing, and it happened last year with Bobby McCain, right? We didn't see a change with Bobby McCain until, like, what, week 5, week 6? After we, like, all the fans were screaming it, like, get him off the field. He's not, like, and it's the same thing over and over again this year. Like, Cody Barton is not doing anything. Like, he's tackling, cool, but he's not making an impact to the game. So I think Ron and JDR, especially Ron, man, like, it's hard for me to even vouch for Ron anymore because it's the same thing over and over. Like, he's not saying nothing that's, like, changing our minds, and we're not seeing nothing that's changing our minds. He's like, we just got to get better. All the talent is here. And with JDR, like, he doesn't make adjustments fast enough for this defense to change. So that's what I think it is.
Yeah, because when you think about the Payless Sean Taylor, right? like we knew that Cam Curl was better. We knew he was better. He showed that he was better. Even so, when he got hurt, even when he came back, Del Rio still put him in, even though we know Cam Curl played that position better. And when we went towards the end of the year, they finally agreed or whatever to play closer to the football. I'm like if this person is better, regardless of age, regardless of contract, you have to pay that player. And then if someone like Landon Collins doesn't want to go to a reduced role or move up to the line of scrimmage where you're going to make this team better, then as a coach, you should have enough grunt to be able to say, all right, you're just going to sit. We're just going to deactivate you. You're just going to stay. You can stay at home if you choose to. But this is about this team and not about you. And we need a coach and a leader that doesn't care about the egos of his I guess more household name players or players that's on big contracts. I mean, how you feel about that, Sal?
Where is Landon Collins, by the way? I feel like we could use him at linebacker, bro.
I don't know. He didn't look too good with the Giants last year.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know if Jack doesn't want to make those sort of decisions. I don't know if he feels like he has the leeway to make those decisions. Like, I don't know what the intricacies are in the none of us do of personnel like that. I'm sure EB runs the offense like however he wants to do that. But as far as the defense, I don't know if Ron gave him, full reins of that defense. Like, here, play who you want to, but don't play who you don't want to. I don't know how it runs. So I mean, honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all don't. We just all we know, we can speculate and we can say, well, this player is terrible, so the person behind him can't be no better. When during practice or whatever, that person is actually worse. But we don't know that until we actually put them on the field. And as fans, we want some type of relief, right? To be able to see that they at least trying to put someone new out there. And that's where you kind of come in, Ken, when you look at, those players and those young players like Kiki Hudson, Jabril Cox. I know he put on some weight from college when he came into the NFL. I know he's a better coverage linebacker. He has more speed, and that's what we need out there. The same thing with Kaliki Hudson. So, like, is that what you want? Like, you want as a fan, you want your coach to say, "Hey, look, this person is playing horrible. The next person can't do no better. Let's just put him in and give him a shot."
I don't know if you want to go in with that attitude. You still have to go with whoever's the better player. This is not like, shooting craps or whatever, or just hoping, the ball will bounce your way. And you need to have a plan. And yes, that goes back to coaching. They need to have a plan. They need to have a plan for each game and implement it. And the players need to perform. They need to enact that plan on the field. They're not doing it, then give the other guy a shot. But it just can't be just because. It needs to be, a game plan involved each game. So, look, if Jabril Cox just doesn't get in because he doesn't fit that particular game plan, and Barton is truly better at this point, then no, you don't make that change. But I think the fans want to see something, because with Barton, you're not seeing it, basically. I mean, there's just nothing there. I don't look forward to seeing one of our players on defense get dragged 11 yards down the field,
right,
like that. That's kind of embarrassing, especially on national television. So stick with the game plan, stick with the players that are going to give you the best chance to win. Bottom line.
I don't know, Souf. Who it is?
My
Souf?
sister. That's my sister.
How you pronounce her name, Souf?
That's Nabiha.
Man, why you
We call her
stuttering?
Nabs for short. We call her Nabs for short.
So
So
hold on,
we
you a
got
two
we
teamer?
have a,
Hold on, you a
no.
two teamer?
We have a
Hold
no,
on,
no. We have a
hold on,
running joke.
hold on, Nab. Hold on, Nabs.
No,
Give us the dirt, Nabs.
Listen.
Let me
I'm
Me and
send you
my
the
missing
link.
sister
here.
Let me send you the link.
Me and my sister have a running joke to where like last week and the week before when we lost, we'd be like, all right, who's our team this week for the 4:00 slot so we can be happy. So last week our teams were Dolphins. We picked the Dolphins and San Francisco because obviously, and then I think the week before that it was the Chiefs again.
He was a Dolphins fan last week.
See, hey, look, 2 weeks ago we was doing this at home. Well, the Chiefs, we was doing the tomahawk chop.
Oh man, and the Chiefs before.
Yes,
Call him out. Call him out. That's
hey,
funny,
man.
I'm
Hey,
still,
it's the only relief
I'm
that we
still
had,
lost
man.
here.
So you see this comment right here, Kim?
Yeah.
This is South's sister saying what team is he going to be this week? Because she said when we lose, he picks another team so he can feel happy for the week.
Georgia Bulldogs.
He said
that's on Saturday, Ken. That's on Saturday, Ken. This is on Saturday.
I know, but Sunday. Hey. He needs something for Sunday.
Miami Dolphins.
Oh man. All right. So before we go, we don't do a lot for the next game, but so Chuck, you're going to Atlanta, right? You're going to Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
What I want to say something, but I can't say it on here. Something happened to Chuck at the last game.
Don't do it. Let it
say on here.
Don't do it. Keep it in the spaces.
I gotta know what happened. I don't know what happened to him.
Oh man, I'll tell you off air. So
I'm starting a space after this, so we'll talk.
All right, cool. What are you expecting from this team this weekend?
I don't know, man. I think the offense is going to do very well. I think the offense is going to do very well. And I went back and I watched a couple of the Atlanta games this morning, and their D-line is not good, but their coverage is good. And what they did against rookie quarterbacks, like C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, they just sat in coverage and waited for their QBs to make a mistake. And that's what happened. C.J. Stroud threw a pick, I think. Bryce Young threw a pick. And that's what they did. So I think that's what they're going to try to do to Sam. So I think EB is going to have to try to scheme up something to where we do underneath routes. We run the ball like 2 times more than what we normally do. And we just try to help out Sam a little bit. Now, defense, I think defense is going to have a good game. I think it's going to shock us a little bit how well they play. I might be overdoing it here, but I really think the defense bounces back this week. It might not be nothing spectacular. We probably get like 1 turnover, 1 or 2 turnovers, But I think we hold I think it's going to be a close game, first of all. But I think we hold them out to the end, I'll be surprised if we actually go in there and blow them out. I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, Kim. Hey, Riri. Welcome to the chat. Everyone that's in there, please hit that thumbs up, that like button. Let's work that algorithm. Appreciate you. Ken, what are you expecting in the A this Sunday?
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and make my prediction. That's basically what we're doing right now, right? I'm predicting a loss. I think get over yourself here. Come on, Sal. Get over it. You're going to be at the game too, right?
I am. I live here, so if we lose, it's going to be a long week.
Okay, I'll give Washington an extra 5 points because Chuck and Souf are going to be there. I still think Atlanta's going to win because Bijan is going to have a monster game. I think Desmond Ritter will have a surprise good game. And the defense will give up more than 30 again. I'm going to say 38-34 Atlanta. The offense will look good, continue to look improved. Sam Howell continue to throw beautiful passes. I don't want to see 55 pass plays in a row, but I am expecting a back and forth game, and the home field advantage will carry Atlanta to a 38-34 victory.
Souf, you will be there. EB is not running the ball. Nope, he keep telling y'all he's not running the ball. What'd you say, Chuck? He said what, Chuck?
He said he might. This week it might be. This week might be 2 more times than last week. You know, he might run the ball.
Chance we get a convincing win. I think it's a low chance, Justin. Very low chance. Magic number is 24 for the Atlanta game, in my opinion. For win or loss, Cash, Bijan will give me lots of fantasy points. Oh my gosh!
Look at Kim Parker; she's a fair weather fan.
If we give up over 30 versus the Falcons, it's going to be a problem. Need to get Robinson going early. Brian Robinson, you have to be specific this week, Cash. Get off the field on third downs, force some turnovers, flip the field, convert. Like we at least have 2 phases of our team play good. Like not okay. I don't want to be greedy. Ask for all 3. Let me get 2. Can I just get 2 phases of our team playing better? At least 2. All points are important with the way this defense is plying. Maybe that's that's not work. Then what I say?
Humanality.
Humanality. Humanality. Where you at, Souf?
I think it's gonna go one of 2 ways. I think if we let Ritter go off and have Pitts have a coming out party and all this stuff, I think we're gonna lose like Ken thinks. But I think on the flip side, if we limit that, I think we blow them boys out. And I'm gonna say it here. I told my dad this on Monday. I said I think we're gonna blow these boys out. I don't know what the score is gonna be, but I think this is one of those convincing wins that we've wanted, that we need. I mean, all eyes are on us. I mean, everybody knows hot seat this, hot seat that. I think defense comes out and they play like we are hoping that they do, that we've been hoping that they play like this whole season. I think they all kind of get it together. This might be our get right game. And I'm not just saying that because I live here. Because Atlanta's not good. They're not a good team. And like we're not either, but we have guys that should be playing good. They kind of don't. They kind of don't. It is what it is. Our roster is a lot better than their roster is. So I think if we can limit Pitts and we can limit Bijan and we get after Ritter, it's gonna be a long day for them. But if not, it's gonna be a long day for us. So it's gonna be one of the 2. I don't know if it's gonna be close.
Sheesh. Cash was saying playing. Hey Trail, like you gotta specify Brian or Bijan. Like we not doing this week. Like you gotta specify. I'm hoping we win, but I have no confidence that we'll stop Bijan. Nav say need to score a touchdown in the first half. At least can I get a touchdown in the first quarter? Can I? Bijan running is gonna set up play action. Oh my God. 24 points for us is the key to win. I truly don't think Atlanta's going to score 30 plus. Okay, so we'll drink your water this week.
Right.
Unc says we in desperation mode. Reverse incinerated already. We have shown we can beat Atlanta. We will be good. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Thursday is who we are. I don't Riri. She said they wasn't good either. Like, I don't think, hey Auntie, Like Chuck, I mean, do you think we're as bad as we were? Do you think that's? I don't know if I should be asking Chuck this.
Yes. Yes, we are. No, for real. As of right now, yes, we are. Because let's
No,
go back
Kim,
and
he is
look
not
at.
playing.
0.
Let's go back and look at the last 5 games. Right. What it's been some good for the offense. Right. Offense is good. Besides that one game against the Bills, I'm not worried about the offense. But our defense has showed me absolutely nothing. Right. We struggled against the Cardinals. We struggled against the Broncos. We let a Hail Mary happen. Like, I don't know if people forgot that or brushed it on the rug, but they, like, Mims had 2 big catches on us. And then the week after that, the Bills torched us, right? So we're just not there yet, you know? And I was way more confident in the beginning of the season saying, hey, we should blow Atlanta out. But Atlanta's not a sorry team. They're not sorry. They're not good, but they're not sorry, you know? So we're not good, right? Not right now. We're not good. Maybe after this week I'll have a different opinion, but not right now. We're not good right now.
Yeah. What do you think, Ken? Are we that team that we saw on Thursday, or are we that team that we saw last Sunday?
Probably somewhere in between.
I hope so.
I said last week that Chicago would be a statement game. Well, that was quite a statement, but this week is a must win. If they don't, they're going to be 2-4, 6 games in, and it's going to be very difficult to bounce back from that because you have a lot of good teams coming up on the schedule. And maybe you get a victory against New England. Maybe you get a victory against in the division against the New York Giants. Maybe even sweep them this year because they're that bad. But then again, Daniel Jones always proves to be Superman against the Commanders, and he proves to be a 97-pound weakling against everyone else. So we have to win on Sunday if we're going to really start making any noise the rest of the season. That's it. So this isn't a statement game. This is a must-win game.
Souf, are we the last Sunday team or the last Thursday team?
I don't know. It's hard to say, even though I just gave you my confidence for this Sunday. But I mean, it's almost like saying like Chuck, like I'm with Chuck. You could tell me you're A+ student, but you failed the last 3 tests. So what that mean? That means you're not an A student. So yeah, you gotta show me. They gotta show me. I hope they prove me right on Sunday, or else I'm taking a vacation.
It might get ugly if they lose. It may definitely get ugly. But I want to show everyone something real quick. Chase did I just added Ron and some other stuff, but let me show you all this before we head out. Here it goes. Let me show you that. And on that note, we appreciate all of you for joining. We appreciate for using your time. We know it's very valuable for you to use it with us. We definitely appreciate it. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love. Let's look at this for a little while longer. There you go.